Good evening to everyone. So everyone together, please say 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, today is the 5th of August. So, 5th of August and month of July also go. And to practice, especially Vipassana meditation, we only have another 3 months. So after that, we are going to start loving kindness meditation on the last 2 months. So this is how the life is flowing. So it is just like a river that you cannot stop. Each and every moment, time is passing. The wise person, the wise person's deed is, that person understands this nature as it is, this truth as it is. That person embraces this truth as it is. And without wasting the time, that person practices very ardently to gain inner peace and inner happiness, to develop inner peace and inner happiness. That's what we do. So today too, please be happy. You are not going to let go of this day without practicing the path to inner peace and inner happiness. So in our lives, we hear about the passing away. People pass away. So at such times, we have to behave just like the horse behaves. You know, certain horses, they just, when they have to haste, the horse rider doesn't need even to touch the horse with the stick. So whenever the horse rider takes the stick up, shows the stick to the horse, then it fastens its speed. And there is another horse, second kind of horse. It cannot understand so it doesn't fasten just by seeing the stick. It fastens when you touch its skin with the stick. Then it goes faster. Then the third horse, so it doesn't understand the touch, but when you give it a soft touch, then it goes fast. And fourth, there are certain horses who don't understand that signal too. For them, they need a very hard strike that it can feel to its bone. So when you give a hard strike, it goes faster. So these are the 4 ways of a horse. So when it comes to fastening its speed, just like that, whenever we think about the human life, whenever we understand that our time is passing very fast, we have to be faster too. So there are 4 ways that you can that someone can be fast. Someone can develop the speed. Number 1, you hear about someone's passing away. So not someone who is related to you, and that person passed away somewhere far away, but still what you do is you think, oh, this person also lived just like me. That person also ate, that person also walked, that person also did all the things that I do in life. But finally, this person treat his or her own destiny. I am not a person who has surpassed this nature. I also have the same nature. So I have to fast. I have to speed up. I have to dedicate more time to come out of my negativities. I have to dedicate more time to develop positivities within. So that person is uh, uh, similar to the first kind of force. So just by listening about someone's passing away, that person reminds himself or herself about the phenomenon of impermanence and starts to work diligently. And then there's another incident. So you go and you see a person who has passed away. So, but this person is not related to you. So you go and you see this person, and then you trigger yourself. All right, this person also lived just like me. I ate, this person also ate. I drank water, this person also did the same. And this person also did all the things that I do in my life. So, but finally, what happened? This person had to pass away. I have the same nature. So just like this, so this lifeless person right now. So since I have to go like this, since I have a limited time, so I have to work hard. I have to fast. So we have to think like that. And then after that, there is another person in this world. So this person's one of your close relative passes on. At such times then you feel sadness more.
Go crazy!
At such
Go
times,
stupid! Go crazy!
At such times,
go stupid!
We have to
go crazy! Yeah! Go stupid! Go crazy!
Hang on 1 second. I'll get him. Okay.
Right. So so at such times we have to sorry about that. So we have to think, we have to understand and think, just like this close person, I will also pass away. Because of that, what I should do is, I don't have a long time. I just have a limited time. So I should try my best, and so I have to speed up in my spiritual path. And there's another person. So let's say one of your family member passes away. At such times you have to think, right, just like this family member, now you feel more sadness. At such times you have to think, just like this family member, this close family member, I will also pass away. So I have to speed up. I should let go of my negativities. I should do as fast as I can. I should develop my positivity, because this is the very nature which is bound to come to me. So that one is just like the horse who understand the fourth strike of stick, so which pains it, so which goes, the pain goes even to the bone. So like this, we have to think about the life and we have to speed up in our spiritual path. So with that introduction, with that reminder, I would like to start today's meditation. Now everyone, please think. So if you are a newcomer, please start to practice breathing meditation. So the newcomers, they cannot start right away with the Vipassana meditation. So you can start with the breathing meditation first, and then after that you can start with Vipassana. So what you have to do with breathing meditation is, so when the breath is coming in, be fully aware. When the breath is going out, be fully aware. So if the breath is long, if the breath is short, if the breath is gross, if the breath is soft, be aware as it is. So just be aware about the normal natural breath and keep on observing. And the other Vipassana students, please start practicing Vipassana as you are instructed. So now we are practicing the third step of Vipassana meditation. We observe the sensations. So from top of your head to the lower back part of your body. So part by part, pitch by pitch, very patiently. Please observe the sensations, and whatever the sensations that you come across, be aware that they are, let it be coldness, heat, or whatever the sensation it is, be aware that it is impermanent, changing. With that understanding, everyone, please start today's meditation. Before we start the meditation, so we will pay our gratitude to the Buddha, and after that, we are going to start. So now, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. And now take a deep breath. Calm down. And let the breath go. Take another deep breath. And calm down and let it go. Now let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body relax. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimeso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sandrishtiko akaliko ehi pasiko opanaiko pachattam veditammo vinyuhiti supanipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujung patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Sami Kipani Pangno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atte Purisa Pugala Ese Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakhineyo Angelikadeniyo Anutterang Punyakitang Lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now with a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with a very alert, attentive mind, with a balanced mind, everyone please start today's meditation. The new meditators, they are instructed to practice breathing meditation, and the old students, they are asked to practice Vipassana meditation as usual. Whatever the meditation technique that you are practicing right now, during the silent meditation time, may your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Now everyone, please start your meditation. Please start your meditation. Now, the new meditators, they can change their posture, but the old students are asked to stay the same, with the same without changing the posture. We are going to practice loving kindness meditation in breath. Calm down, relax. Let's share our loving kindness with yourself first. Please spread loving kindness. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. Very peaceful. Please spread loving kindness towards yourself. Now let's spread loving kindness towards your parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. May my parents, teachers, relatives, and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards them. Now let's share our loving kindness with the people in the middle. Those who are not your relatives or friends, and at the same time who are not your enemies. The neutral people. May they also be well. May they also be happy. May they also be very peaceful. May the neutral people also be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people in the middle. Now let's spread our loving kindness with our enemies. May they also be well. May they also be happy. May they also be very peaceful. May my enemies also be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards the enemies. Now let's share our loving kindness with all the beings in the whole universe. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Spread loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Now everyone, very calmly and peacefully, please open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. Now please join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, so as usual, we are practicing very ardently. We are practicing very diligently. And we are coming out of our negativities little by little. As I always mention, so in this world, so there are eagles who can fly very fast. But if they don't fly, they even won't pass 1 mile. The ant is a small insect, but it's very active. So even though an insect, if it keeps on proceeding step by step, unceasingly, that means without stopping, it can pass thousands of miles. Just like that. We don't know about the technique fully, but the things that we know, so the techniques that we know, we have to practice as we can. You won't be able to dedicate your time just like the Bhantes or the nuns, but still as lay people, whatever the time that you have, managing that time and sparing as much as time possible. Please practice little by little. Just like that ant, you will proceed and finally you will reach the destination. It doesn't matter about the speed. Speed doesn't matter. The destination matters. So work hard for the destination. Work very diligently. So I'm glad that you're doing it, and step by step you are improving. That is a very great thing to say. And I thank you for that, because the positivities that you develop, first of all, those positivities will help you. The compassion will help you first. The loving kindness will help you first. And the sympathetic joy, it helps you first. equanimity will help you first. And then those very qualities will help the other. So please practice very, very diligently, very hard. So last week we learned about right concept. I told you when you practice Vipassana, you start to understand about the nature, the truth of the nature. You realize that everything is impermanent. You realize that everything is changing. And at the same time, you understand there is no any eternal person called I. The phenomenon that we call I as I, it was different in the past moment. The person who is right now is not the person who was in the past moment. This very nature won't be in the next moment. We are continuously changing. So you understand that by that way you understand that no use of developing craving towards anything. So with that understanding, you develop, with that right understanding, you develop right concept. What are the right concepts? I told you that there are 3 kinds of right concepts. Number 1, so you develop the concept of renunciation. Renunciation from all the negativities. Then you develop the right concept of not getting angry, whatever it happens. So number 1, renunciation. Number 2, not getting angry. Number 3, non-violence. Whatever it happens, you are not going to harm the other people because of your craving. And when you have these 3 kinds of concepts, so they are called as right concept, then you develop right speech. Your speech becomes right. That's why it is called as right speech. This speech, so it is very, very important in our day-to-day life to communicate with the others. So with various languages, in various ways, sometimes we don't need the language, we can communicate with signs, right? So we communicate. For communication, we need speech. But we always should understand when we practice, we need to develop right speech. So so this automatically happens if we have developed at least a little of right concept. So right speech, to understand what is right speech, we need to understand what are the wrong speech, kinds of speeches. There are 4. Number 1, according to Buddha's language, according to Buddha, musavada, telling lies. Someone sees something or hears something. Seeing that and hearing that, that person says, I didn't see and I didn't hear. And not seeing something, not hearing something, and not experiencing something, someone says, I saw, I heard, and I experienced. If someone says like that, then that person is lying. If someone is lying, that person is practicing wrong speech. Then number 2. Number 1, lying. Number 2, separative speech. There are 2 people that you want to separate. Hearing something from this person, you go to this person, the next person that you want to separate from this person, and you tell whatever this person told in a way that you can make a separation between. And hearing the reply, of that person, you come back and you retell that will reply to this person with the intention to separate them. So this is separative speech. And then, so it is if someone does so, that person is practicing wrong speech. And then number 3, third kind of wrong speech is parusavacha. That means abusive speech. There are certain words in this world that we consider as wrong. When we hear those words, if someone tells those words towards us, then we feel intimidated, we feel harassed, right? The anger, which is not there, not yet arises, and it arises when you hear those words. And the anger that has already arisen, it grows. So such kind of speech is called as abusive speech. So if someone practices this kind of speech, then that person is practicing a wrong speech. So number 4, meaningless speech. In Buddhist-based language, sampappalapa. So in this speech, what you do is, so you talk about various things, meaningless things, so beyond the limit. Let's say about politics, you talk too much. So if it is not useful for you, if it is not useful for the listener, so then it is a meaningless one. You are wasting the other person's precious human lifetime, and meanwhile wasting your own too. So that's a wrong way of speech. That's why meaningless speech is wrong. So you destroy the other person's time. Meanwhile, you destroy your time too. Right? So there are 4 kinds of wrong speeches. Number 1, lying. Number 2, separative speech. Number 3, abusive speech. Number 4, meaningless speech. Right? So those are the four wrong speeches. Then now we can understand what are the 4 right speeches. Number 1, truthful speech, telling the truth. That is number 1. If you saw something, if you heard something, if you experienced something, you say, yes, I did experience this. I heard this. I saw this. If you didn't see something, didn't hear something, or didn't experience something, you say, no, I didn't see that. No, I didn't hear that. No, I didn't experience it. If someone does so, then that person is practicing the truthful speech. But you have to understand, whenever you say the truth too, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. I'll teach you later what are the 5 things that you need to consider before you tell a truth. So number 2, second right speech is the collective speech, the speech that you can unite people. So if you use the words to unite, to people, to groups, to communities, to countries, right? Nowadays we have a huge problem between China and Taiwan. If someone uses words to unite both the countries, then that's right speech. So then if someone uses words to spread peace between both, so spread collectivity between both, both parties, that may be two individuals or two communities, then that speech is a right speech. So, so that is unifying speech. You unify. So number one, truthful speech. Number two, unifying speech. Then number three, use even in dire situations, you try to speak nice words, kind words, compassionate words. Then the words that can melt the other people's hearts. So if someone uses such kind of nice speeches, nice kind sets of words, then that person is practicing the third kind of right speech. Then, so that is nice speech. So we can say soft speech too. So number one, truthful speech. Number two, unifying speech. Number three, soft speech. And then number four, you don't talk idly. Instead, you speak. You speak the words which are meaningful. So which is useful for yourself and which is useful for the other people. So whenever so there are certain people who talk like that. They don't talk unnecessarily about unnecessary stuff. They just talk about the stuff which are useful, right? Which are that you can learn a lesson, so that you can gain something for your life. So that kind of speech is the fourth speech. So speaking meaningful things, meaningful. That is the fourth kind of speech. This is called as meaningful speech. So there are four kinds of right speeches. So when you practice right speech, telling the truth, so truthful speech, unifying speech, and soft speech, and then after that, meaningful speech. So if someone practices these four, that person is practicing right speech. So whenever you tell the truth, or whenever you go to talk something, you have to check 5 things first. I have taught you this earlier too, but I want to remind you. Number one, you have to check whether you are talking on the right time or the wrong time. It may be a truth, but it may not be the right time to talk. For an example, someone is brilliant. If you say this, that person might become furious. So it is the right time to tell the truth? No. So you have to stay. You should not tell lies. Instead, you have to keep quiet. You have to keep quiet. And you should wait until the right time to tell them. So then, number 2. So number 1, you have to consider is the first fact is whether this is the right time to say this or whether this is not the right time to say this. Number 2, you have to check whether this is 100% true or not 100% true. Sometimes maybe the source is believable. One of your best friends told you, or one of your closest family members told you. But still, it is not your own experience. So it may not be the 100% true. Maybe that person's perspective. So you have to beware, and you have to check. And if it is not 100% true, then you have to quote the person who told, and if you cannot quote, so don't say it has one of your own experiences. So just keep quiet. Better to keep it to yourself. And number 3. So when you tell something, you have to check whether you are telling that thing, whatever thing that you are going to say, is useful or not useful. There are things, so it may be a truth too, but still there are speeches. So even though you say that, it's not useful for this person. So at such times, better to keep quiet because it's not useful. And if you are going to say something not useful for the next person, then what happens? So then you waste time. So number 4, you have to check before you say something. If you can't remember these things, better to write them down, right? So those who are participating online, you can write these things down. So 4th thing, so when you say something, you have to check whether you are going to say it in a softer manner or a rough manner. It may be a truth. So there are certain people. So at first you have to use the soft speech. You have to tell that thing softly. But still there are certain people who cannot recognize, who cannot understand the soft language. You have tried 3 times. So 4th time, out of compassion, then you have to use the rough speech. So let's say a child is going to so children, they like to touch the flame, right? Candle's flame. Then when they were trying, mother asked, son or daughter, please don't touch it. It'll hurt you. But the child is arrogant. He goes and tries to touch the flame again. What happens? Mother or father says, son, it will burn you. Don't touch it. But desire. Now he or she is so much curious. They are going to die. And so he or she is going to die. Then you say again, son or daughter, don't touch it. If you touch it, it'll burn you. It'll burn you. It's plain. It's not something that you can play. But still, this boy or girl, she's going to touch. Then what? Now you have compassion towards the child. If he or she touches that, then definitely you know it'll burn. It'll burn his or her hand. So what you say, what you do is you threaten. Don't touch it. If you do, I'm going to punish you. Then the child stops, right? So you have to, if you have to do such kind of thing, then please do that. So but before you do any of those, before you react in any of those ways, you have to check whether this is the time to say it in whether I'm going to say it in a softer manner or a rough manner, right? At first soft way, then later on, if that person doesn't listen, then you have to use the rough way. Number 5. So you have to check whether you are telling this out of compassion and loving kindness or out of hatred, right? That is very important too. A truth, even a truth, you can tell another person. It may be 100% true, but you can say that to another person out of hatred. So to destroy that person, right? So you have to check yourself whether you are going to tell this truth to this person out of loving kindness or out of hatred. So there are 5 things once again that you need to consider. Number 1, whether this is the right time or the wrong time to say, and then whether this is 100% true or not, whether this is useful or not, whether this is whether I should use the soft or rough tone, and number 5, whether I'm going to say this out of compassion, out of loving kindness or hatred. So whenever you start to use the truthful speech and the truthful speech, unifying speech, and then after that, soft speech, and then the meaningful speech. With these 5 measurements, then you are practicing the right speech. Whenever you start to practice the right speech, what happens is you develop calmness with it. You develop calmness with it because there is nothing to hide. So there is nothing to hold on to. So there is nothing to cover. So the mind is more calm. Then that calmness will help you to develop concentration. That concentration will help you to develop wisdom. If the mind is calm, you can see things clearly. Then your wisdom, it will develop. So you practice the right speech, then you develop inner calmness. Inner calmness helps you to develop concentration. Concentration helps you to develop wisdom. And then wisdom helps you to develop inner peace and inner happiness at the end. So work very ardently. Work very diligently. First of all, please develop right understanding. And then it will help you to develop right concept. Right concept will help you to develop right speech. And right speech, not only right speech, right concept will help you to develop right actions too. In the next week, I'll teach you how it helps us to develop the right actions, right? Until then, please start practicing right speech, right speech. So that is the end of today's practice. So now everyone, please think together, all of us gathered, and we practice this noble non-sectarian meditation very ardently. And by that way, we accumulated a lot of positive energy. We share that positive energy, first of all, with all the sick people in the world. May they gain this positive energy. May they recover very soon. May they be able to lead their lives with comfort, with good health. May this positive energy be helpful for all of us to lead a comfortable life, a peaceful life, a happy life. And may we develop in beauty, mental and physical strength, and at the same time in wisdom. Practicing the Dhamma power and eradicating all the negativities, developing all the positivities. May all of us attain the ultimate peace, ultimate happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone, please join your palms together and please concentrate. Abhivadane silisse niccang vaddha pacai Chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang Ayurarogya sampatti Sagga sampatti me bache Ato nibbane sampatti Iminati samijjato. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all of you be well. May all of you be happy. May all of you be very peaceful. Good night, everyone. See you on next Friday. Suki. Suki. Mr. Huat, good night.
Good night, Bante. I will wait a moment while our friends leave.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Jaime, good night.
Hi, Bante. Thank you.
Good night. Buenos noches. Mrs. Lees, good night.
Good night, Bante. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. And Pragati and Rahul, good night.
Good night, Bante. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night. And Mrs. Shireen, good night.
Thank you, Bante. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Bante.
Good night, Mr. Huat.